Tonight we welcome you to a realm of mystifying enigmas. A realm where the boundaries between fact and fiction blur, between the visible and the invisible. Welcome to Conspiracy Cinema Saturday. This is not your typical movie night. Here your guides are Tommy Truthful and Paranoid American, the most tenacious detectives of the Truth Mafia. These brave cinema sleuths are on a mission to unmask the obscure and decode the ubiquitous. To delve into the shadows of Hollywood's most popular and cryptic films and expose the hidden occult symbolism and messages concealed within. Are you ready to question the world as you know it? Join us as we journey into the underbelly of the silver screen, one frame at a time. So grab your popcorn and get ready for another episode of Conspiracy Cinema Saturday from Truth Mafia.
This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. Today, we're going to be getting into Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, and we're going to look at a few different angles in it. There is a connection to the wildfires that we're going to touch on and their new Atlantis that they're building, this new city, this new landscape that we're seeing come out because of these fires, right? So let's get it. Me and my boy, Paranoid American. How you doing today, brother?
What up, man? Happy
What's
Saturday. Up? Happy Cinema Saturday. We're finally doing one live on Saturday.
Yeah. We had a few Saturdays where, it was my fault. Because I'm so busy throughout the week, so I tend to sleep on Saturday. I'm doing readings all week, bro, and I usually do like 4 to 6 a day, and they're a half hour to 45 minutes. So it gets.
It's important, man, because I know people love those readings, and it's not a service that you can get anywhere else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's cool.
These are just movies.
Yeah, I like doing it too because I get to talk to our followers and our fans and find out like how they found me. I see the synchronicity connected to their, what I'm writing a book right now on your birth tarot cards and your connection to your life path number. Everybody that I've decoded their tarot cards, you got 2 tarot cards. Mine, for example, is the Hangman and the Empress, which is the 12 and the 3rd card. Well, my life path number is a 3. 1 + 2 is 3. So I see it with everyone, no matter who they are. Matter of fact, later into this podcast, we'll take a look at yours live, which I've never looked at yours. So we'll see what that is. And guys, if you're interested, all the links are down below. Paranoid American, all his links. Check out his Patreon, his YouTube, his website, paranoidamerican.com. Also, all my links are down below. And the Diamond membership is still going. Will probably be the last day today. You can get that link down below. $26 one-time fee. Get you a free numerology astrology reading. Find what energetic signatures are vibrating with you. And that's if you want to do it via email, you can do it that way, or it's a 30-minute phone call with me. There's also a bunch of other links to other services we offer down there, and that's all on truthfultv.com. Then on truthmafia.com is where we have all of our blogs going up, all Paranoid Americans videos, all Donut Factory's videos, all of our KX's videos, all of the whole Truth Mafia crew. It's a conglomerate of some of the biggest content creators in the world. So make sure you smash that like button, and we're going to get into it. Do you want to start, brother?
Yeah, man. I'm ready to kick it off.
Yeah, kick it off, man. I'll let you kick it off.
Well, you got my slides.
Yeah, so you want me to start with slide 1?
Yeah. So if it's not obvious already, the title of this particular movie, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, it's a reference also to the Spear of Destiny, because what they're looking for is this lance of Longinus or Longinus. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. But if you might find this familiar, because I've known it as a Spear of Destiny. So here's a picture of the Spear of Destiny. It's where Saint Longinus stabs Jesus in his side, because they're supposed to break his legs, but they basically say, oh, he's already dead, so we don't need to break his legs. But in order to make sure that he's dead, let's just like stick this dude really quick in the side here. It's almost like poking him with a stick, I guess. But what's interesting to this is that the dude that you see right now that's stabbing JC with that spear of destiny, the wine comes out of JC's side and it gets into his eyes. And apparently this Longinus guy, he was hard of seeing, or maybe he couldn't see at all and he was blind. And the story was that that grape juice, that wine, that came out of JC's side, gets in his eyes and it cures him of his blindness. So this ends up being used as one of the miracles of Jesus, which is weird because this dude ends up becoming a saint, and in some cases a martyr, depending on what religion you follow and if you believe in saints or not. But this guy ends up becoming venerated by Christians, which it's kind of a wild backstory. And then, yeah, so the actual reference to the lance itself, it's mentioned in Gospel of John, but it's also in the Apocrypha. And basically they're explaining that they were originally going to break Jesus's legs, and it was a specific Roman practice. And God help me with this word, cruphrygium, which was basically just a way to kill somebody quicker, I guess. And since they thought that he was already gone, they decided not to break the legs. So there you go, this Roman soldier, and they just named him in tradition as Longinus. So that's where you get this lance of Longinus. It was from one of those Roman soldiers. And then here's this quote from John 19:34. It says, "One of the soldiers pierced his side, and immediately came blood and grape juice."
Wow. And yeah, the spear of destiny, who do you think, if it really exists, do you think it's the West that probably has this? Because it seems like they're the ones that tend to take control of everything, right? As far as
this one's hard, man, because there's 3 or 4, I think, that have surfaced, and the oldest one, if you believe in, like the radiocarbon dating and X-ray dating and all that, but even out of all those, they say it dates to like the 8th century AD. So none of them really line up to the actual time period in which it should have taken place. I think that it might be metaphorical. I think that it might represent something and not be an actual spear or like an actual artifact. But I mean, who the heck knows?
Right. Yeah. Who knows? I'll tell you, I was talking to you before we went live, and about them. How do I say this without getting in trouble? Them email leaks. Let's just call them that, where a certain person with the initials HC, we all know her, right? She mentioned this resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh, they found his grave right before we invaded Iraq. And then next thing you know, bam, we invade Iraq. They surround Gilgamesh's grave. You don't hear nothing about it no more. And this, she actually talks about this resurrection technology that they had. I actually did a complete blog about it on truthmafia.com, guys. You should check it out. I'll show you it after we're done doing this breakdown. And thank you, Tris Stanley, for sharing this out. We appreciate y'all. Hit them like buttons. Eric, my brother, what's up? Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all Paranoid Americans people in here, all my followers. We love y'all. Thank you for being here. Yes, we are live. But yeah, bro, it's crazy how they kind of have, I guess, dubbed themselves the ones that get to control this type of technology or artifacts, whatever you want to call it. What do you think on that?
I think if there's a real one, it's probably in the Vatican archives somewhere.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
100%. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I definitely agree. And now this next slide, 4?
Yeah, so this is a recurring theme, right? This whole idea of a spear that pierces somebody of importance, and then what results, that the grape juice that comes out has some kind of mystical properties. It's retold in so many different examples. So on the left, you've got Parsifal from the story of the Holy Grail and the Holy Lance. On the right, you've got the Fisher King, which it's the same exact story over and over. So I mean, if you believe in the mythology and how the church would take over older pagan beliefs and pagan stories, here's just another example of the story itself of the spear of destiny might have just been adopted and kind of absorbed by the people that were writing different stories into the Bible. And that's the interesting aspect of this, is that it just recurs and through so many different themes, and some that predate the written record of Christianity.
Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you, Eric Ebo Elliott, for your donation. We appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man, it's fascinating to me how all roads lead to Rome, right? They set up the Council of Nicaea. It's kind of like they rewrote the whole Bible and put a lot of their beliefs into it, which comes from Constantine, who was a pagan. And I have this theory, bro. So first of all, what's going on right now, guys, I believe with all my heart, I don't fully understand it. I don't know what Nibiru is. Is it a dimension? Is it a planet? Is the twin sun from inner Earth? Is it on an elliptical orbit with our star? Are we on a flat plane? Or I don't know. I want to know just like you guys. But one thing I do know is all this X symbolism, the number 8, why we keep seeing it, why they changed their logo to Meta. It all has to do with Nibiru and the symbolism of this. These elite bloodlines, they believe they're descendants of these Anunnaki, these watchers that are supposed to be from Nibiru. Whether some people even believe it's a interdimensional craft. That's a massive thing. So, some people believe they created us to just mine gold. But there's a lot of symbolism take this for example, Lahaina, right? Lahaina in Chaldean gematria equals 17, matching Nibiru. So, and then Lahaina's area code is 808. When did the fire start? On 8/8. And the 8 number is connected to the 8-pointed star, the star of Anana. The ancients would talk about this stargate that would open up in the sky, and these gods would ascend through it. They had this advanced technology. Now, you have some of these people that think they're coming through interdimensional stargates, and where I was going with this connected to Constantine and the cross. Nibiru's ancient symbol was the cross. They called it the crossing, the planet of the crossings. And it's when this interdimensional portal, which I call the Golden Gates, the galactic center, would open, what they call from heaven to earth. They say the Messiah is going to return, Yahshua HaMashiach, through this portal. Well, if you believe him, we respect all religions here. But this portal that opens, I think maybe they're opening this portal via CERN, causing things to open. And, maybe they're trying to harvest the energy in there, this dark matter, this antimatter. But Constantine seen a cross in the sky. So how do we know he didn't see Nibiru in the sky, which is the ancient symbol of the cross? You know what I'm saying? Paranoid American?
I feel like if they did open up another dimension or portal with CERN, like, they'd be happy about it, even if it wasn't the stated goal, right? That would be a success in their mind.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're totally into opening up portals and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely. I just think that symbolism. Sometimes you got to really look deep into it. Where does it come from? What is the origins of it? Then I look into the words. What do these words mean? What is the energy, the vibration to this word? Because the English language is a language of spell casting, and you look into the grimoires, and which is spell books, and our language is backwards too. Like everything here, it seems, is backwards, and they're doing that for a reason. It's what energy, what frequency is attached to that. I think we literally, when we're speaking this language, it's a form of casting spells on ourselves and maybe keeping ourselves on a lower vibrational frequency. Maybe it's something for a control mechanism. If it is these entities that are called the Anunnaki, or they call them the Watchers in the Bible, the fallen angels, or the Elohim, maybe it's connected to them, which does remind me, I didn't put this on this chart, but Elohim is in this signature. And let me just break this down really quick. So Indiana Jones comes out, right? And there's this scene, guys, where he mentions about a blue line. If you go on truthmafia.com, look up the video that me, Donut, Ani, and Jacob Israel did, and I did a full blog on it, the Fire Blue Code. Let me make sure that's the right name. because it will blow your, yeah, it's called the blue fire code. It's pinned to the top, blue fire code. So in that blog, there's a video clip of Indiana Jones. I can't show it on here because they'll flag our video. In the video, he's teaching this class and he mentions blue numerous times. During the fire, there was allegedly a lot of stuff that survived that was blue. Who knows if it was planted or not, but we all know, you know. So I'm like, okay, let me look from the day Indiana Jones comes out if there's any connection to when the fire started in Canada. And guess what, guys? It was 1 month and 22 days exactly. Well, 122 is the longitude and latitude for San Francisco. And San Francisco is the home of the Church of Satan. This year is the 57th anniversary year of the Church of Satan, right? And it's also, we just had the 57th Super Bowl on the 33rd parallel. The 33rd parallel is where the fallen angels descended to Mount Haran to give man this forbidden knowledge, these watchers. And the UN has a giant building up on top of there with a giant 8-pointed star on it, the Star of Anana. So it's kind of funny where the fallen angels came down to, they show the symbol of that star connecting to Nibiru and this ancient Stargate. So boom, I'm looking into San Francisco, the 122 cipher, which I already know the numbers. Riddle is 122. Ember is 122. The Ember rituals. This has to do with September, October, November, December, the Ember months. We're going into the Ember months of orange right now. And I have a full breakdown on this. Me and Donut did a members only video on the Ember rituals. When you join the Diamond member group, within 24 hours, I send you all your links and you'll get links to the 2 new members only videos. One of them is me, Donut, and Ani, and we're breaking down the fire. Both of them are about the fires, and one's about the Ember rituals, and it'll blow your mind. This 33 code, guys, these Ember rituals. And as Canada was burning, they showed this picture on the media with this bright orange, right? Orange is 33. It's a warning in the occult. So September, October, November, December, these are your Ember months. You see the ember in them, and embers burn, the fire. It's all connected to these fire rituals, which gets into certain special camps. I'm not going to say none because we're on my big channel. Just go watch that video and you can read the blog for free on truthmafia.com. It's also connected to the dog god, which is the dog of death, Anubis. And we've seen the dog god connected to code red. Now, there's some banned words that we can't use. If you go on occultdecodes.com and type in code red, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So if you hear us say any code words, just go on occultdecode.com and then you'll understand. And we'll make sure we reference it too, so we don't get taken down. So there's the 122 connection, right? And now the 57. 57 is the law of attraction. It's the glitch in the matrix. What are they trying to attract, guys? The new Atlantis, this 138 number that Archaics talks about, these global resets, if you will. Brother Archaics, which owns archaicstv.com. He has a YouTube channel, Archaics. I think it's Archaics 138, his handle, but you can just look him up under Archaics. He's on truthmafia.com as well. And he talks about these 138-year global resets, and he thinks it's some type of entities underground that might have like a geoengineering type weapon system that they're using, right? Now, New Atlantis is what they're building, guys. They're building their New Atlantis, their smart cities, their smart grid, their new landscape. And, well, what is lithium, the 57th element? Well, it's used to make rechargeable batteries for hybrid automobiles. So that's the energy they're trying to attract. This is ancient magic. It's part of alchemy. That's what they're doing. It's ancient spell crafting. They're crafting the new Atlantis that they want to bring into a reality, if you will. So what do you think about all that, brother Paranoid American?
I actually never put the ember suffix together before. That one's kind of wild. I'll have to check that video out. And I love that you were talking a little bit earlier about HC, you know, the
Yes.
person that was almost president, and the references to Gilgamesh. And I just wanted to point out that Gilgamesh was apparently one of the offspring of the Nephilim, who were in turn the offspring of the Watchers that we were just talking about. So I feel like that's all connected, because all of this ancient research, it kind of stems from these really OG stories. So I think it's really important to polish up on some of that, because it doesn't change, right? Like none of those stories change too much over our lifetimes.
No, you're 100% right, brother. And over here on truthmafia.com, if you look at this, okay, so Sling and Stone did this video, right? And it inspired me. He does this video about the 10 plagues of Egypt, and it completely inspired me to write this blog. And so I write down this blog about these 10 plagues. All this is my work. And it gets into, oh, we're going to skip past that part real fast. Oh, yeah. We're going to skip
Close your
past
eyes.
that.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes. We're skipping past that part. But it gets into Gilgamesh's tomb belief found. I give the links here. And guys, you got to come read this because it's crazy. It gets into these emails of this person mentions Gilgamesh tomb, the buried Nephilim, and it's amazing. The line between the myth and reality often blurs, especially when intriguing discoveries come to light. If someone whispered rumors about Biden invoking arcane forces of battle, fascinating foe. So what are they doing? Are they cloning some type of Nephilim army? What are they doing with this technology? Why did we go into Iraq right after they found this tomb and took over the site, right? This happened a while ago, guys. We're talking right during the Iraq War. Bush was still the president when all this took place. And I got all the file numbers in here, all the links, everything's in there for you to take a look at. And then, I wrote my breakdown on it, which Gilgamesh is 28. Now, this is interesting. Babylonian is 28. And this is a number that I talk about all the time, this 28 number. And this is in your Chaldean cipher, which is the oldest cipher, right? Osiris, how long did he rule? That's right, 28 years. So could they be cloning Osiris, Gilgamesh, Nimrod, these type of ancient kings? And there's a video here that is fascinating. I wish I could play it. I should have downloaded it for this episode, but I didn't really think we were going to talk about this. But you can come over and watch it on here, guys. You just got to type in God's 10 plagues. Type that in, or Gilgamesh, and you should pop right up. You just see right there, bam. So just use the search bar. You'll see it on there. And Paranoid Americans, if you're using our gematria calculator over here, which we don't charge you to hit the match. So for example, law, well, let's do this one first. Oops. See, that's one thing I don't know why it does that when I hit back. Then you just got to refresh it. All right, here, let me try this one. Okay. So you just look at Maui, right? I want to show you this. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say these words because I don't want to get in trouble. But Maui, watch this. That's all I'm going to say. Art, Maui. You understand what I'm saying? Say, do we have a code word for that? We need to put a code word for that over here too. So we
yeah, if you search for DEW, there's something that comes up.
Okay. Now when they come, okay, right here it is.
Yeah,
so
you just type in DEW and leave that blurred. Yeah.
Yeah, you leave it
dewdrops.
blurred.
That's what we're calling it. We're calling it dewdrops.
Yep. So if you want to talk about harp or that, it's dewdrops. That's the code name, right? And then the thing that started that got the whole city, the whole world on lockdown. I don't know how you named that, but it's probably, yeah, code red. The sea urchin.
I threw that one in there because of
no, that's smart. The Kraken.
Shout out to Slick Dissident, because he has his whole breakdown on how it's the sea urchin visually, but then sea urchin and emergency. And like he's like you'd have to have him explain it all, but I love
Yeah,
it.
no, he's 100% right. I did a breakdown on it. If you guys, you want to see a real one, actually, my son did it. So let me stop stealing the credit. But Kraken, which is what they nicknamed the new one, come over here. There's two of them, right? This one I did, the bottom one right here. They released the Kraken, the beast from the sea. If you haven't watched this yet, come watch it and it'll explain everything. My son did a phenomenal job. He connects it to everything. He shows you all the movies it's in. He shows you how it's connected to Hydra. It blew my mind, and that's what they nicknamed the code red. And what was the first city it hit in outside of Wuhan? Well, it was in Seattle, which has the Kraken flag. So yeah, there's a lot of connections there to that sea urchin. So that's pretty cool that you actually use that, brother.
If you want to pull up that number 4 again too, the very last line is important. It says that this lance, right, this spear of destiny, has supernaturally destructive powers. So consider what this means. This means that if there was a true supernatural being on the planet, you would need this particular lance in order to do something about it. So if you go to the next slide, this is where it takes off a little bit. And it's silly that we had to blur this dude's face out on every slide, even when it's actually in a Disney movie and they're allowed to show. Anyways, I'm not going to rant too much about that, but
no,
we
it
can
is.
show.
Yeah, if we do, YouTube will try to take us
Yep.
down, guys. And his code name is, go ahead, Paranoid American.
Oh, I forgot what it is. Oh, it's the infamous German dictator. So the,
Yeah,
the infamous German dictator has, I mean, in real life, he sent a squad out to go and find if there really was a true spear of destiny, because he felt like if there was, it really would have this occult power. So there's been many books written on it. This one, Spear of Destiny by Trevor Ravencroft, is a pretty decent one. But if you notice in DC, they had an entire run because, again, the spear is known to be able to destroy supernatural beings. So this H guy, he ends up getting his hands on it so that he can take out Superman and take out the Flash. So if you go to the next slide, there's this whole entire storyline in the classic Flash comics. And this is the quote from the Flash: "The spear of destiny. Wow. The same one that pierced the side of Christ while he was on the cross. They say whoever wields the spear can control the world." So now it's not just about the spear being able to destroy supernatural abilities. Now it can also give you supernatural abilities. And there's this inversion in there where if you take it and you can take away someone else's supernatural ability, if you can destroy something supernatural, that makes you the supernatural one, right? Like you have superiority over it. So if you go to the next couple of slides, I mean, they are very explicit about this. So here's H dude. "For now, with the ancient spear, which a Roman soldier once used to off Jesus Christ himself, I shall execute the so-called American heroes, the mystery men, the mightiest members of their decadent race." And then he says, "Nice knowing you, Flash," because he's going to start taking out all of the superheroes. But he's very specific about American mystery men. So this almost feels like this weird Axis versus Ally, occult magic that's going on. And then in the next one, he keeps expanding on this. This is from the same Flash run. So here he's got in front of Batman of all people. So like H dude is holding up the Spear of Destiny in front of Batman, and he's talking about, "As you know, that other potent Western relic, the fabled Spear of Destiny, came into Chancellor H's hands and used its awesome powers when America's mystery men invaded his fortress in Europa more than a year ago." And the other thing where they say the other potent Western relic, the other one they're talking about is the Holy Grail, which actually was supposed to have contained some of that. So you see that on the right. So it says, "As they are scheduled to do mere seconds from now, separated thousands of miles, the H dude and Premier Tojo perform certain rites, speak certain words over their twin talismans, the talismans being the Holy Grail and the Spear of Destiny." And it says these actions will make the Fortress Europa and their own greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere totally impregnable to counterattack by America's most powerful costume champions. So the idea here is that if you can possess these incredibly magic talismans, then regular people, like just the natural world, has no power over you because you control the supernatural.
Wow. And I got to segue into that. So while he's breaking that down, you know me, guys, I got to look at the numbers, right? And you are not going to believe this. Spear of Destiny. Holy cow. Guess what it is? 57. 57, guys, matching the law of attraction, the glitch in the matrix. This 57 number that we're seeing over and over and over again. That just blows my mind that, you know, it has that connection to it, which I showed you in the beginning with that slide. The law of attraction, a glitch in the matrix, Lithium, this new Atlantis that they're building, connected to the spear of destiny. Whoever controls the spear will control the world, Flash said, right? So I mean, that's pretty interesting and cool. Go ahead, Paranoid American.
It's very specific, right? So this is a quote where they talk about the guy that actually stabbed him, and it says he suffered for having pierced Jesus, and that he was condemned to a cave where every night a lion came and mauled him until dawn, after which his body healed back to normal in a pattern that would repeat until the end of time. Now this comes to mind a lot of different examples, but I don't know if you like the Promethean legend, where Prometheus, he brings knowledge to people. He's the light bringer, right? He's the Lucifer. He brings knowledge to humankind, and in retaliation, the gods basically force him to have his liver taken out by an eagle every single day, and then it heals up, and then it just repeats the process forever and ever. So again, there's this really interesting tie to these older tales, kind of like woven in to make this one big monolithic tale. And I had to highlight Sabine Baring Gold's name here, because if anyone's unfamiliar with Sabine Baring Gold, he's also the one that wrote the most definitive book on werewolves to date. So like this gets into some really interesting supernatural areas of research when you look at particularly the Spear of Destiny. It takes a really strange turn. It gets way out of the normal canon of the Bible, yet it's in the Bible because of John.
Wow, that's very fascinating. I'm gonna have to look into this Sabian Baron Gold guy. His name is spelled Gould, right? Not like
yeah, Sabine Baring Gold.
So
And
what's up with him? He created
he was an expert on all sorts of supernatural topics. He translated a lot of books, but he's very well known for, I believe it was called the Book of Werewolves, and it's not like a silly paranormal book. Like it's like a legit book, kind of like how King James wrote the book on demonology. Sabine Baring Gold wrote the book on werewolves, like the real one.
And his name is 923, guys. And Fibonacci, which is the 923, the Osiris code. This connection to Osiris and this date 923. You got to look at my breakdown for 923 of 2024. It's just fascinating, this Osiris number that we keep seeing over and over and over again. I break it down in a couple different blogs. A matter of fact, if you I think might be this one I put it in. But if you go, no, it wasn't on this one, was it? It might be. Let me see. Oh, let me show you this. This is where it is. TommyTruthful.com. My old website, I did a phenomenal breakdown, and it gets into this whole thing that happened back in 2017, this astrological alignment that filled biblical prophecy, which we talked about in this episode right here with Jacob Israel, Ani Asoru, and it gets into the sun, guys, which again, you know, if you watch that video I did on down here, I'm going to scroll fast so I don't get in trouble, because there's a lot of stuff in here that will get me in trouble. But down here, which brings me into that post too, Dr. Henry Walton Jr. is 93, matching you know what, and that 93rd number, which 237 is the atomic weight of Neptunium, right? So the gamma code cracked 237, and this has to do with our DNA. The last blue moon, the supermoon, until 2037, 237. At 23 minutes into the video, I start my breakdown on this blog. I pass the mic to Ani and break down the gamma code. The gamma code is linked to the sun. It can, and in this Indiana Jones thing, he's talking about this Archimedes mirror that burns whole cities, which I'll get into that in a minute, which is connected to the sun. And corona is the outermost part of the sun's atmosphere, and it has to do with this X gene. The sun is reinstating ancient consciousness, activating 12 strands of angelic DNA in certain people. This is again why people are wanting to block the sun with the chemtrails, right? Everyone knows the government wouldn't want people, especially those against certain things in that they want us to participate in, with special abilities, right? The 144,000. That's what I've traced it to. Now, interestingly, in that episode, the latest Indiana Jones installment, there's right at the 24-minute mark, he says, you'll catch this reference numerous times. First, he says a blue line, followed by the mention of a mirror with the power to obliterate entire cities. And then he says, he emphasizes on the word Syracuse 3 times, which equals 666. What is the frequency of the blue color? 6.6 hertz, right? But that's not all. At precisely 24.3 into the film, there's a fleeting shot of him pursuing a paper as he sips his coffee before his lecture. On the paper is the full title. I broke that one down with its connection to nuclear energy, Neptunium, and the gamma code, and blocking out that sun. Because they don't want it to reinstate these ancient powers that in the Bible it says in the final days the bloodline of David will become like the Elohim, which this 923 code kind of ties into all that as well. Hold on a second, let me refresh that.
You had that number 237 in there too, and I just have to point out that there's a whole entire world of this cipher decoding. Yeah. It's called cryptocubrology, and shout out to my friend the cryptocubrologist. But there's a whole research just into that number 237 that goes wild. It's an entire rabbit hole, because that's room 237 from The Shining, which was apparently one of the secrets that Kubrick would bake into his films.
So yeah, that's the gamma code, dude. That's what they're trying to block out. That's why certain things they want us to participate in, if you get my drift, code red, it blocks them special abilities. The black goo, the programmable matter that's in it, which is literally a storehouse for demonic consciousness, which, guys, I'm going to get into that, tie that into the demon video with Doja Cat after I let Paranoid American finish his breakdown. But anyways, he also mentions, pay attention when Indiana Jones speaks about a date. Post his quip, I'm going to have to food or spoon feed you guys, he says. That's exactly what he says right there. So about 24 minutes in, right? He says, I'm going to have to spoon feed you guys. And then he mentions 213 BC when Archimedes is burning cities. So 213 is genocide. And I just found that fascinating as he's talking about burning cities with this mirror. And right before that, he mentions that blue code. So, it's pretty crazy. And yeah, I'm going to break this one down after. And there's that 6.66 hertz frequency, but this 923 cipher is very important. And again, that's coming from the name he mentioned, the guy that did the book on werewolves, you said?
Yeah, it's called The Book of Werewolves. That's the actual name of it.
Yeah, Sabian Gold, which I definitely spelled it wrong when I tried to spell it, but Sabian Gold right there. And yeah, why does it keep doing that every time I try to move off that? So the first one, guys, was 9/11. We have these 3 major Phoenix events, right? The Twin Towers fell, This represented the two strands of DNA. The two fell, the one was erected in the image of Lucifer, Nimrod, Apollo, right? That third strand. Then, boom, you have in the middle mark that 88th point. This is where the 2021 Great American Eclipse made the first X over America. It'll make its final X on 4/8 of 2024. X marks the spot right over that New Madrid fault line, that 88 point. And this egg that went over, a shadow of an egg, went over the United States during this eclipse. It's the Ogdode. This is the 8 creator deities, that 8 number again, which is tied to them opening up the portal. The 8-pointed star, Nibiru, ties into the Golden Gates, Osiris. They want to collapse that because it symbolizes the galactic center. It symbolizes the portal that the Messiah comes back through. So it's also the bridge that goes over the currency. You know, the current, everything tied to water is tied to money. So as they collapse the physical dollar to bring us into a digital currency, Osiris was chopped up into 14 pieces. The first, the eclipse that went live, the Corona eclipse, was on December 14th. That's when the code red went live in America as far as the cure to it, right? December 14th, look it up. And it's on that day, 13 years prior, I Am Legend came out, a movie about a zombie apocalypse where they get it from, you know, not the, it was the cure allegedly. So I'm trying to be careful how I say this because I'm on my big YouTube channel. But yeah, they're putting Osiris back together again. Trump was the president. He was born on the 14th during a blood moon over Jerusalem. And this Osiris number, 14, if you have 14, the reflection of 14 is 41. Colby died at 41. 41 days later, Pop Smoke was killed, put in the ambulance, 41, right? Then you had the 2017 eclipse that made the first X. X represents Osiris. Look it up. That's the symbol of the X. This is why they changed Twitter. It's all of the coming alleged Antichrist, also tied to Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, Revelations 8:11, whatever you want to call it. And 41 days after that 2017 eclipse, Las Vegas happened. That's all I'm going to say. Mic drop on that one. You know what I'm saying? So that 923 code is getting spicy and very important. Now, what's up with this slide, brother?
So this is the Antikythera. This is the actual dial of destiny that they're talking about in the movie that gets broken up into pieces by Archimedes because no one can, get a hold of it. And spoiler alert, in the premise of this particular movie, this item basically allows them to travel through time, and it brings them right back to the year 212 BC, which was a year before what Tommy was just showing, where Archimedes is using like the laser beam, essentially using the mirrors. Well, in 212, that's when Rome starts coming down on Carthage, and through proxy of that, Syracuse and Sicily, because it was still run by the Phoenicians. This is the very end of the Second Punic War, I believe. So Archimedes, he's not necessarily a Phoenician, but he's definitely not a Roman. He probably claims Greek more than anything, but he lives right in the middle of this time when like the Phoenicians were on their way out and Rome was starting to take over. So the importance of this Antikythera device, they kind of gloss over it in the movie. I mean, it's a main part, but this really is hard to understate that this device that you're looking at right now, and if you go to
the X on it too, the giant
it has the X on it. It sure as hell does. It looks like an X-Men symbol, right? On the bottom left, it's like an X-Men.
Sure does.
On the next slide, there's a digital recreation of all the different components of this device. Now, this predates anything that even resembled this nature of complexity by about 1,000 years. The next time that this shows up was by a famous clockmaker. I can't remember. I've seen it in person. I just can't remember his name. But basically, the premise is that this very specific device represents the concept of technology that was way beyond its years, and almost, like irreconcilable proof that humans did have advanced technology, and we understood way more than people just 100 years after this event happened. So a lot of this goes down. In the next slide, it shows you where this item was stored and how it got destroyed by the Roman soldiers once they took over the city during like the actual fall of Carthage. So this is the city in which it was at, and then in the top right corner you can see the library. The library is right next to the king's palaces, and right in between the temples to Athena and the Trajan temple, which was their emperor. But you've got the Athena temple, and then the Dionysus temple. You've got the Zeus at Zeus's altar. So this is clearly right in the middle of this like Phoenician slash Greek slash pagan society as Rome comes to take it over. And right there in the library, which is in the middle, is where they stored this device and many others. And it's important to remember that we call it a library, but it was really way more like a museum. It would have been like someone busted into the Natural History Museum and just destroying everything, all the artifacts, all the machinery, all everything. And then in 1,000 years, people refer to it as a library, and it just sounds like it's a bunch of books. It was way more than that. So that's one of the aspects of it. And then there's another slide where it shows this in modern day.
Let me shout out. This is my boy from my city. Shout out to Demetrius. And I actually did a podcast with them guys when I was in between cribs, when I was staying at that hotel. Remember the dude I was walking around the hood with in the projects? That's Demetrius. Shout out to him.
Good Shout out to Demetrius.
Yeah. He's over there holding the hood down and shit. It's my boy. Good dude. But the next slide we're going to get into right here. Boom.
This is just the actual library today. So that's where it would have been stored. And again, I would call it a museum more than a library.
And they're built on these. It's fascinating how these places, like the slide you showed before, and all these places, a lot of these temples and stuff and Zeus's altar, they're built on ancient ley lines. So they understand these dragon points, these energy points on the globe, like Athena's temple. And they charge them up, guys. That's why they do certain events, certain rituals on certain days, certain ley lines, certain energy points under certain astrological alignments. It's all about putting energy into the right, whatever they're trying to manifest into reality, right? Because that's what it's all about. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so this one is one of my favorite stories. But basically, when the Romans stormed Syracuse, and they find Archimedes, he's holed up, but he's doing like math problems, and then his final words were "Don't disturb my circles." And as you can see, he's drawing these circles with the compass. And I guess that pissed off the Roman soldiers so much that he killed him right on the spot. But I've heard so many interesting theories about this, where he says, "Don't disturb my circles," might have meant something not that he was drawing, but it might have been some kind of entities that he had around him. It might have been like a secret code word that was like, pretend to off me, but really let me get away. Because that was a really well-known thing of philosophers, that they would constantly fake, their exits and then reappear elsewhere in like another city under a different name, because it was kind of just part of that profession. So I didn't get to go too deep of a dive on this one. It's I think it's well worth like a full research on what exactly did he mean by "do not disturb my circles."
Fascinating. And I got a little to touch on about him as well. Let's just look at the numerology, because in Indiana Jones, like I said, they kept saying Syracuse. They make sure you heard it over 3 times, right? So let's look at 3 numbers, okay? English ordinal till, which is witchcraft, mandatory, certain other words that I'm not going to say, but that's a big one. And Syracuse is 666, which we know the color blue is that 66.6 hertz. He literally says it in that scene I showed you guys about. See, there's the 666. In that scene I was showing you about in this podcast right here, he says it 3 times. So it jumped out at me. And that's why I ended up putting that clip down here at the bottom. Wrong one. That's the Blue Beetle one, right? Sorry, guys. It's this one. This one right here, which gets into the 923 code too. That's September 23rd, 923. So this is all about the Osiris. I break it down in there, and it's throughout the blog. But down here, when we get into this right here, when he's in there teaching in the room, he literally mentioned Syracuse 3 times in it. And I'm not going to show you what comes up after that, but it has to do with the what. You can go watch the video on there. But I just found it interesting that Syracuse is also 93, and he had a son that burnt whole cities, right? Again, what's corona? The outermost part of the sun's atmosphere during eclipse. From the Earth to the sun is allegedly 93 million miles. We know that's bullshit, but hey, it's what they tell us anyways. It's the information they give us. So I just find that kind of fascinating, looking at the numerology aspect of it.
In Flight 93, right?
Yeah, and Flight 93 that was on its way to San Francisco. 100%, brother.
So okay, so this slide is more of a conversational thing that I wanted to bring up. Is an interesting topic, I think. The premise of Indiana Jones is essentially, if I oversimplify, it's that American and British, people that work for the museums are more worthy of holding the world's artifacts and cultural, relics, because they can't be trusted in the hands of any other heathens, right? So if your nation is at unrest and you've got people busting into your museums to steal stuff or smash it, then the American and the British, or you could just say kind of like the European Illuminati, right? They kind of determine, you guys, you're going to lose your toys, you're going to break your toys, so we're going to go ahead and hold on to that for you. We'll keep it at our museum. It'll be nice and safe. So when you guys are done with your little political unrest or your civil war or whatever you've got going on, come back to us and maybe we'll give you your stuff back. And there's a really big movement about how this is horrible and horrendous, and we shouldn't be, no country should be going into another country and taking their relics and taking their artifacts and then pulling them back out so that they have to come and beg for them later. But the controversial aspect, and keep going to a couple slides because I've got two examples of this.
Yes,
so
sir.
here's some here's the Rosetta Stone, right? This is technically, I guess, part of an Egyptian relic, but this is in England, and this kind of belongs to the entire world, but this is just one of many, many examples. I mean, we would be here all night if we showed all of the artifacts that American and European museums were holding from the countries they belong from. But go to the next slide. And
yeah,
here's
everybody's stuff, like the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh.
So here's the extreme example.
Who gives them that right?
Oh, sorry, you were breaking up there. I mean to talk over. So this is an extreme example.
Oh, no, you're fine, brother. It's just like.
So there's like a delay now. But this is an extreme example of what they claim they're trying to protect all of these ancient relics from. Now, this actually happens. These are ISIS members, and ISIS would go through and just destroy any sort of, pagan deities or anything that didn't line up directly in the Quran. So this is kind of the example that the American and British establishment show, and they say, this is what we're trying to prevent. We want to protect your history. At least if we steal it, right, we won't smash it. We might take it from you. We might not let you see it ever again, but at least you know that we're not going to smash it up. And then there's another slide after that one.
And I got a breakdown on that if I could. We all know they created ISIS, Israel and America. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, what they're doing, if you look into people like Brother Archaics and different people, even that believe in these global resets and these Phoenix phenomenons, that they're trying to get away with all the history. They're trying to reset the timeline so that we don't have a record of what is really taking place. They do it every so often. Like Archaic said, every 138 years, we see this new Atlantis emerge, this new landscape come out. So it's fascinating what they're really doing. And we know who was behind ISIS, which gets into the Ember rituals and all the beheadings, and they're in orange, and they always happen in September, the Ember months, just saying.
So yeah, so I mean, I've been describing what the official story is and what the justification is for taking these artifacts from other countries.
But that makes sense too.
Yeah, so what you brought up though is that if it's Britain and it's America that are helping cause this unrest in these countries, then it's almost in it benefits us to cause the unrest, because then we can go in and say, hey, you guys don't really you're not going to be able to protect your natural resources. You're not going to protect your cultural artifacts. Let's just go in here. We'll take over your oil. We'll take over your gold. We'll take over your museums. And then that way we'll keep it nice and safe for you. And when you guys, again, when you sort your problems out, when the Middle East, like you guys figure out that peace thing, then we'll give you all your cool stuff back.
Well, David, they're not putting Gilgamesh back together, but they're really putting Osiris back together. But I do have a theory. Are they one and the same, maybe? Because Gilgamesh was found in the resurrection chambers. Gilgamesh equals 28. If you look into that cipher, which in the emails, they're talking about his resurrection technology. And we know that 28 number is connected to Osiris, who allegedly ruled for 28 years. And what is Osiris? He is the god of resurrection. They're putting Osiris back together again because he was chopped up into 14 pieces. Isis found 13 of these pieces, and the fish ate his phallus, right? That's why you seen John Podesta with the 14 on one hand, the fish on the other. He was paying homage to the coming Antichrist, Osiris, and the fish ate his phallus. So Isis made a golden phallus. She performed necromancy with it. That's sleeping with a entity that is no longer here. And Horus was born from this. The one-eyed god, Horus, right? Now, Paranoid American disappeared out of the live somehow. I don't know how that just took place, but hopefully he comes back. I just seen him. I'm sure he did not do that on purpose. So hopefully he'll get back up in here, guys. They're definitely probably hammering this live because we're tying into some really, really good things right now. But yeah, we'll go on. I got some other things we can talk about until he comes back. So until he comes back, let me show you something while I'm waiting. I'll hear him. There he is. There he is. Okay, cancel that. What happened, brother?
I just freezing up, man.
Oh, you had to go out and come back in?
Yeah. Someone was in the comments was talking about Thomas Edison, and it reminded me on a tangent that Thomas Edison introduced Hollywood to Satan. He created a movie called Faust and Marguerite, which was, I believe, the first example of Satan in American cinema, and that came from Thomas Edison. Just FYI.
Hey, I like that flag you got on your. How do you do that on your ceiling back there? That's pretty nifty.
I got a little projector right here.
Oh, that's cool, brother. I gotta get me one of that. That's pretty cool.
It was like $30.
I'm scared to show myself anymore, though. I told you before we got on here, I got VPNs on VPNs, bro. It says I'm in 7 states in the United States. That's triangulating my position over to Switzerland too, because these people like to use certain energy weapons to target you. And I'm tired of not being able to breathe. So that people's like, Tommy, why don't you show your face? Well, for one thing, I've been getting a little heavy too. I don't feel too good about myself, but that it is.
Hey, we're body positive on this channel, bro. It's
yeah, we are. But I'm over here looking like Santa and shit. So, it's just, but the real thing is, I don't want them to know my location. That's the honest to God truth, because I really don't care what I look like. That, but the location is what it is, guys. I'm trying to stay healthy. I don't want to be targeted with their microwaves. So now we were, I believe, going into this slide.
Yeah, this is my favorite slide out of all of these. And I wanted to just take this entire scene and replay it, but we've done that before and the video gets hit. So yeah, I just want to point out how much symbolism is going on at this particular moment. So they're talking here about spirit destiny. We're talking about time travel. We're talking about ancient technology that's been hidden from the public. And right at the major climax kind of like chase scene, they've got this Apollo 11 giant leap for mankind parade going on, and Indiana Jones represents this again, like this old sort of analog like explorer class, this older archetype that's interested in ancient rites, and he's riding a horse in the middle of this city, right? So he's kind of like out of date, and he's being chased by a CIA agent, and her name is Mason. I'm not making this up. So Indiana Jones is being chased by a CIA Mason in the middle of an Apollo 11 parade here, and the connections between Apollo 11 and the Masons and just like forbidden technology. It all just kind of like comes together in this perfect crescendo. And what do you see on the left here too, right? You've got these Scottish guys, the Scottish Rite, maybe another link to that. So
Yep.
this is like the most Masonic sequence in this entire movie, and it was just blowing my mind how overt some of it was. It was
Hey,
a cool scene.
look at this guy's picture, Paranoid American. He's got face mask on face mask on face mask. I love him. Pale Horse Rider, shout out to you. That is the best picture ever.
Yeah, it's gonna get in your ear though, bro. You got to cover up those
Yeah,
ears.
you got to cover them ears up, brother. You got to cover your ears up.
You're slipping,
Get the
dude.
ears covered up. And Zach, shout out to you, brother. You've been following me a long time. He's seen me. Man, I've had a seizure on live before where they blasted me with a frequency. You know, I'm not joking when I say this. Look into targeted individuals, and they're spending trillions of dollars a year into black budget projects. Look, guys, when your websites can get more views and you got more reach than CNN, they tend to not like that. You know what I'm saying? So they want to target you. Right now, we have over 400 people in this live streaming to all of our platforms. That's just on my end. And that's not counting all the people over on Rumble right now. That's just the YouTube, the Facebooks. I got it going to Conspiracy Cinema. That's our new YouTube Conspiracy Cinema podcast, which we only have one person in there right now. So it's a new one. Go check that out. Truth Mafia podcast. It's on to our YouTube, but I think Paranoid American's got it going to his as well. So we probably all together probably got about 600-700 people in this live video this whole time. You know, watch CNN not be able to do that. They get maybe 100 people in a live and no one cares what they're saying.
Well, imagine if we could put this into every airport right now. How dope would that be?
Dope, bro. And if we weren't censored by them, we would even be, it would be so much more. People would be watching us way more. But what's up with this slide? You have the last one.
I just had to throw this out there because this movie was about time travel, and it had this guy in the front, John, I forgot his name already. But he plays in Sliders, which is also a TV show about time travel, and he's Salah. He's Indiana Jones's kind of like right-hand man in this movie. And if you haven't ever seen this show before, I cannot recommend it enough. It is way beyond its years. And we were talking about HC before. There's even an HC sync where they go back in time or they go into the future at that point, and they discover that America is run by HC. No, not H. Yeah, the other bad H.
Yep. And then you got the Flash 2 connection with the lightning bolts and everything. And in Flash, the new Flash one, he goes back in time to try to save his mother. And then he's in this parallel timeline where he doesn't get his powers. So he has to, the new Flash ends up getting his powers, but the original Flash from the future loses his powers. And it's fascinating. It's about parallel timelines, time travel technology, which gets us into Operation Stargate and them being able to remote view into other parallel timelines. You look at the blog I did on Gigi Young's work on the Mars timeline. It's fascinating. And Project Stargate. Do you know anything about Project Stargate, Paranoid American?
Yeah, definitely. So Project Stargate was there's a lot of different umbrella terms they can fall under, but I believe that was the military and the CIA's research into astral projection, which also relates to that movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah.
That's based on a real story where they had this Vietnam vet, and I guess he realized that in Vietnam, when they told him to shoot, like, you know, the enemy's right there, shoot, that a majority of soldiers would intentionally like miss, right? Because they didn't have it in them to do that. So
only 2% at that time. They say that's why they use a lot of these films and first shooter games to program people, because now you know a bigger majority can actually shoot. See, I've always had this thing inside me, dude, where I can just turn it off, like if I have to. Now I couldn't do that to an innocent person though. But if it's someone evil, that is, I would do it and go to sleep like a baby. I promise you. But someone innocent, no, I could never hurt them. You know,
it's weird because that's where some of Stargate came from, and the guy that ran it was apparently like a hippie in a way, but he also was doing this specifically for the military so that they could know how to create like a killing machine. So it's got a really strange, interesting past, and a lot of the Stargate stuff tends to dovetail with like Project Monarch and all of that weird like Stranger Things kind of research.
Yeah, it's phenomenal when you look into Stranger Things. And what did she do? 11L. She was a remote viewer, right? She could remote view. But Gigi Young's work is so fascinating, dude. And like I've always thought that we live in some type. First, I thought it was all flat Earth, right? And then I kind of grew out of that, and I'm like, okay, so through the numerology, I realized no, it's actually an organic matrix that we're in. God used some type of angelic technology to speak us into existence with the spoken word. Every word has an energy, a frequency, assigned to it, right? And it holds a vibration, an energy, a frequency. That 19 number, which also AI is 19, chaos is 19. 19 years after the 19 hijackers brought down the Twin Towers, you know what 19 happened. So we're on a 19-year Metonic moon cycle as well. And flip 19 around, you got what? 91, like Route 91 Harvest Festival. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot into that number, and it has to do with the spoken words and, you know, the frequencies they hold and all that. But real quick before I forget, and I want to get your feedback on this, brother. So Doja Cat's new album blew my mind. Now, when I did this video last night, honestly, I didn't look into Doja Cat's album yet, guys. I just seen this picture going viral, and I put it in the thumbnail and wanted to touch on it and do some decoding. And I didn't even know she was in a bathtub full of black goo when I named it Doja Cat Black Goo. That's what she looked like to me. First thing I thought of when I seen her was black goo. I don't know why, but I did. So then after we ended that live last night, I was like, let me go look at this. Let me go look at this album. And I did a full breakdown on it. I wrote a full detailed blog. Christina Ricci takes on the role of a terrified homeowner with none other than Doja Cat as a haunting presence in the spine-chilling Demons music video, freshly released Friday. This track from Doja, anticipated the Scarlet album, takes a deep dive into horror cinema, giving nods to some classical films genre, which you even said you thought of. What'd you say you thought of when you seen it? Paranoid American?
This movie, or it had Christina Ricci, I noticed in the screenshots.
Yeah. And she's in the black goo right here. And in the scene, it blew my mind, guys. So I had to write this fascinating blog last night. The black goo is the programmable matter. We know that's tied into the third strand, you know what. So in
The Shining, that's what it was. Because this bathtub that she's sitting in, when they show one of those perspectives of it, this is the bathroom from the Shining movie at the very end.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't even know that. So in this scene, Doja Cat prominently displays the all-seeing eye on her back of her head, which caught my eye, while she's immersed in a bathtub filled with black goo. The demon seems to tug at her as if he's drawing her further in. This can be interpreted as her surrendering to the demonic presence or consciousness. And I've broken it down over and over and over again what black goo really is. It's a storehouse for demonic consciousness. It allows them to use you as an avatar from this parallel dimension, these entities that our government calls aliens. Call them what you want. And if you haven't watched the Prometheus decode that me and Paranoid American did, it's been going it's brought in so many new readings, Paranoid American, of people that find it on Google, which blew my mind. I couldn't believe Google was actually sharing it.
Yeah, how do they let us out of the box on Google?
Yeah, they must have missed that one because they don't share none of my stuff. But I guess the way we presented the information, we were kind of slick how we did it. And so it brought in a whole lot of new followers that were just like, I was so fascinated with you and Paranoid American that they went over to your site, bought your chemtrail book for their kids. And, you know, it was pretty cool how we broke it all down and tied it to these creator deities. And remember in Prometheus, they couldn't recreate no more because they merged with technology. They merged with the black goo. So the only way they could recreate was through the black goo now. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so apparently in that movie Prometheus, which is wild that you only really know this if you see the deleted scenes, because they break it down at the beginning, but they never included deleted scenes with the rest of the releases, but they show up on Earth, and the black goo at that point is an actual organic substance that came from like some kind of a godlike deity. But what happens is that humankind, they figure out how to like replicate it by analyzing it, but through replicating it, they destroy the original. So like you said, now all they're left with is this synthetic black goo, which is just a horrible recreation. This is almost like the Gnosticism. This is like the Demiurge, right? Like the flawed creature, the flawed entity versus the pure one, like the Platonic ideal version of it. So the whole premise of Prometheus is that once humankind tries to become God, they create themselves like a version that is, you know, inferior to the original, and then over time they just lose the ability to reproduce, and they're kind of stuck with this inferior version forever.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and you even have the Kraken in it. Remember the Kraken? Like it grabs a hold of him that was born from that girl because the AI drops the black goo into that guy's drink, like you explained before, just to kind of test it out and see what it did to him. You know, he was running studies, which, you know, there's a follow-up to that movie, brother, that we have to do a breakdown on, where the AI is the only one that survived. He actually killed the girl that he left. He got off there, and he goes to this new place and he starts creating them aliens and shit. Oh, did you see that one?
I haven't seen it yet. That's the scariest aspect of AI, though, is that it's, I guess maybe this is just to me, but to me, the scarier part isn't that AI is going to turn nefarious and be like, I'm going to destroy all humans because whatever. The scary part is AI just going to be like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I do this. And they just do it to see what happens. Because at least humans, right? Like the idiots that wanted to blow up the moon in the 50s, right? At least there was probably someone in the room that was like, hey, this might not be such a great idea. With AI, there might not be that split second, right? Like a nanosecond later, it's like, sorry, I already sent the missile off to the moon. We're going to see what happens now.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. And that's what this AI did in Prometheus. He was actually my favorite character. The big giant, the creator being, he ripped off the head of the AI and killed that guy that spent all the money.
So
Yeah. He spent all that money to get there because he thought that they could save him and so he could live forever. But so they were actually on their way to destroy us because they didn't like what we had become, and they were going to destroy the whole earth with this black goo substance that was turned into some type of a weapon system. It was just fascinating. And in this video, oh my, it's crazy, guys. You got to see the breakdown. So anyways, I want to touch on a few things. You guys have to read my blog on this because there's a whole part I cannot get into because it gets into the third strand of, you know what, it breaks down black goo, and that's at the end of the blog. But I can touch on this. The past Friday, the dynamic rapper at 27 years old unveiled Demons, a chilling new single from her soon-to-be released Scarlet album. Accompanying the track, Christina Ricci, the queen of the gothic glam, right? And Ritual is 27. We all know about the 27 Club, all these singers and stuff that they die or some type of thing happens to them at the age of 27. Then Scarlet album is obviously 2023. That's the year it's coming out in. But the thing that really caught my attention was the 127 cipher. So I'm thinking last night, and I'm like, wait a second, Ani broke this down in that blue video that we did with me, Donut, Ani, and Jacob Israel, and I couldn't remember what he said. So I called Ani last night at 1 a.m. I'm like, yo, I need to know what's up with this. Well, actually, I texted him. I said, what's up with this 127? And he hits me back with this. So I said, I was discussing the number 127 in an interview with my brother Ani, which you can catch via this link. This number sparked my interest when I discovered Scarlet Album equals 127 in English ordinal gematria. Ani dropped some knowledge reminding me of some significant events linked to the number. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell on 9/11. Terms like Scottish Rite Freemasonry, Bavarian Illuminati equal 127. Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7, and Ground Zero is 127. That's all cool. But fast forward to Lahaina Fire, which Lahaina, like I told you, it's the 808 area code, happened on 8/8. And Lahaina Fire, which ignited precisely 127 days after Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced his new film where he portrays Maui, the Polynesian fire god. And yes, Polynesia equals 127. So shout out to my boy Ani Asorhu, who I wouldn't even have thought of that connection if it wasn't for Ani, who has his own channel over here on truthmafia.com. And he did a new video on Meta, the history of the cross. Dude, it's phenomenal. Paranoid American. You should check it out if you ever get time, brother, because he really broke that down. So yeah, man, it's really cool how we can have all these different channels over here and all these different people and people like Gigi Young. Here's the one I did on Gigi Young's work and Project Stargate from this parallel timeline, this Mars timeline, which is 138, that new Atlantis number. And you got to read the blog on it, guys. At the bottom down here, I share all Gigi's links to all her videos and stuff. But this video is so fascinating at the bottom. She breaks down the remote viewing of this Mars timeline, and I'm thinking of it as a dimension. That's how I wrote it up. And look at these entities, Paranoid American. The first thing I thought as they're describing them, very tall, pale, pasty white. What do you think of? Prometheus, bro.
And the Nephilim, bro.
Yeah, and the Nephilim, right? But Prometheus, like, it's exactly what they talked about in that. And let me pause this and show you this slide. So check this out. She has this full video where she breaks it down. She is so fascinating too. When she breaks it down, you feel like you're sitting there, and she reads it to where it's like you're actually experiencing the remote viewer. And the remote viewer is talking about what they're seeing. And at the time, they think that they're remote viewing this future Earth. But really, it's this, they give them a location where to remote view to. And that's how it all starts out. And then they describe what they're seeing. It's yellowish, orca colored. All right, move in time to the time indicated in the envelope I provided you, and describe what's happening. I'm tracking serve clouds, more like dust storms. It's geological problem. Seems to be like just a minute. I've got to iron this out. It's really weird. Just report your raw perception. Just report the raw data. That's what he wants. And they start breaking it down in this next slide, like what it is. And it's this world that has met its end. And there's these shadows of people there that they're waiting for this. One of their groups that went out to look for a new world, and they're waiting for them to come back. Now they have already perished, right? They've already came to their end, but they're still there because they're waiting for the return of their people. And it just reminded me of when they ripped the space-time continuum with the Philadelphia experiment, and these entities from the lower astral realm, the eighth sphere, had came in. And they call them reptilians. When we see the shape shifting, there's some type of entity that has developed more of the reptilian cortex in their brain, and they're trying to get back into the life wave. So they have literally possessed a lot of humans that are in power, which then now they call them reptilian shapeshifters and stuff. There's some type of entity that has possessed a lot of our people in power. What do you think about all that stuff, bro? I don't think it's an actual reptilian. I think it's some type of an entity from a parallel timeline or another dimension.
Well, you just explained the exact concept of
You there?
Stranger Things, where, yeah, I'm here, where
I
11,
can't hear you. I think I
I'm
lost his
talking.
audio.
Check.
Oh, there. I have.
There you go.
You know why I had it on mute? Sorry, guys. That was my fault.
So I was saying that you've just described the premise of Stranger Things, because 11 was doing that thing where they said, close your eyes. Okay, now go to these coordinates, this location. And in the Stranger Things show, they do that, and she's finding the location of some like Russian general, because they're in Cold War times. So she's determining where that's at. But as she's doing that, she looks and she sees this huge creature, this like, this upside down thing. Where they call it the Gorgon in there, because it's a Dungeons and Dragons reference. But that's when she looks and she sees this Gorgon, and it's like she also realized the Gorgon can see her, and that is that break in the time-space continuum, where another entity comes in. And when you said the Philadelphia experiment, that is related to the same thing as Project Montauk and Project Monarch, because in Project Montauk, they claimed that through that in Camp Hero, they would sit these kids down that were highly trained, and they would just focus. And one of those sessions tore open this like hole in the sky, and then a huge creature came to the actual town of Montauk and rained havoc for a small amount of time, and then kind of like popped back out. And that's the exact same research and the same accounts as this Philadelphia experiment. I believe that was Preston Nichols and his Delta T wave machine and the hero chair, or the Montauk chair. It's a crazy story. I think it's called the Montauk Chronicles, and then there's one called like the Science of Music or the Science of Sound. It's well worth looking into if you like this stuff.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm very interested in it. And I was talking to this lady on the phone tonight. I don't want to say her name because I don't know if she wants me to, if that's okay. But she was really interesting, nice lady. I was doing a reading on her. I got to finish her gematria tomorrow. I did the first part, and she recommended this movie to me. The Creator, dude. I watched the trailer of it. Oh my God. We got to do, bro. It is awesome. We have to do this one coming up, guys. You got to check it out. It's coming out. It's called The Creator, and it's phenomenal. It's right up our alley, bro. So as soon as we get it over here on fmovies.to for free, that's where I watch all my stuff. I don't pay for
me too now.
Yeah. I don't pay for nothing no more.
Hey, isn't it funny right here in the new Indiana Jones? They show this contains tobacco depictions, and then it opens directly up on the infamous German fighters, and it's like, what are you warning me about here? Because someone smokes a pipe halfway into the movie. Come on.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. I that's why I had that open. I'm like, what is going? Like, it's just stupid, really, when you think about it. And guys, if you do use fmovies.to, make sure you use the Brave search engine. Me and Paranoid American have a lot of technology on our computers. Like, I'm blocking everything. I got a kill switch on this thing. I'm triangulating different locations and stuff. They can't give me pop-ups, but you'll get a lot of pop-ups because it's a free site. But if you use the Brave search engine, that should block a lot of your pop-ups anyways. And I mean, it has every movie that's out in the movie theaters, it doesn't matter what streaming service it is, it's all on here. I got Paranoid American hip to it. You don't even got to pay.
I mean, I used to get like torrents, and I still do like news groups for stuff here and there, but man, like 90% of what I want, it's pretty much always on this site. The only time that I don't go to fmovies is if I want like my own offline copy, because I haven't figured out a way to like download it to my computer from here. But
I wish I could. And how are they not getting taken down is what I wonder.
I don't know, man.
Because, dude, I put up, remember that decode me and you did about that new movie? What was it
Nefarious called? Yeah. So if you link to the site,
the other one, the with the kids, the Sound of Freedom.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
For the Sound of Freedom decode that me and Paranoid American did.
Right, they'll take your site down for linking to it, but they don't take the site down that actually has it. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, can you believe that? They took my site. Yeah. they took my set, and then now look at this. So here's a video missing. Let me grab that. I'm gonna have to give that to my tech guy and have him go to the Wayback Machine and put that video back up, because I let some idiot into my. I was paying him. He needed, and I had him go through and delete some copies, and this moron deleted the main videos. I'm like, bro, you were supposed to delete doubles. What are you doing? Like, he deleted a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, they took my they took Truth Mafia down. That's why you got to be careful who you let into your site, bro. Just like I had these people working for a month, I'm paying them to build a gematria calculator, and they never get it. And then I asked Paranoid American to do it. He literally built it in a weekend, and it has the biggest database out of any gematria calculator on the internet. And that's all. It's all powered through occultdecodes.com, where you can find all the band words, guys. You know, his date calculator, which is literally the best date calculator out there. And then, you know, check out his paranoidamerican.com with all of his cool comics. And we're talking about making a tarot card calculator. So when I'm doing my decodes, I can have my own tarot card calculator. And I know some of you guys might think it's divination or whatever. I disagree with it. I think that they rewrote the Bible and told us stuff to keep us away from learning out, finding out that we're in a simulation. That's why they don't want us doing numerology. And that's my opinion. I could be wrong. You know, my mother, she's a diehard Christian. She thinks I'm doing divination, and I respect her opinion. I believe in a creator. I love, you know, I have a direct relationship with that creator energy, that frequency, which I call source consciousness. And that's how I live my life. So, you know, we all got our own opinions, but yeah, you can find some amazing comic books over here. My favorite one he has is the chemtrail comic books for the kids, and that's all on paranoidamerican.com. And then, of course, guys, over on truthfultv.com is where I'm doing all my bookings. So this will be the last day. I might leave it on tomorrow and tonight, but you can find all these different things over here. We're even doing holistic counseling now. You know, we got a couple different people doing that. So it's really awesome. And the lifetime diamond membership, it's easy. You check availability. I'm usually booked for a month out. So if you want to get it, you better get it. You're never going to be able to get it the next day. I'm always booked weeks and weeks ahead of time. Right now, my next availability is the 14th. That's actually pretty good. So you can actually book all that week right there, right? And it's real simple, guys. You just you book what day you want, hit next, put your little info in there, and you're going to check out as you down here. You're going to put, if you want to email one, put all your breakdown in there, like your date of birth, the time you were born. And I'm going to show you an example with Paranoid American's tarot card here in a second, his life path number, which I've never looked into him. So you put all that in here, like me, for example, January 17th, 1983, and then you do the buy plan, hit that. It'll take you right to here, which you hit select. That allowed you to book your date, and then you're going to check out as a guest checkout, right? But you got to log in anyways because you're becoming a diamond member. So you're going to become a member of the site. That gets you access to all the free groups. Now, if you don't want to be a member and you just want a reading, that's fine too. You can just get a reading, or you can check out via just the pricing plan way, which you don't have to be a member to. You can just do it like that and then just put your email in there. Proton.me and go to continue. Gotta make sure you're a human because I had AIs booking no, I swear to God, they were booking appointments, dude, and there were so many fake ones, bro. I didn't even know it was real. It's like they broke my website. It was crazy. So I got to make sure you're a real person. Then you just go to buy now, and it's a secured checkout through PayPal. You don't have to have a PayPal. You're checking out as a guest. You're paying with your debit card. You just have to have your email. Continue to payment. Continue as guest. See how simple that is? Very simple, and it's secured through PayPal. So now let me show you a little example real quick. Pull up my stuff over here. I got a whole bunch of crazy stuff open, but some of my decode stuff I use. All right, let me take a gander. Okay, this was the girl I was just on. She was a life path 9, right? She was super cool too. And her birth cards was the 18 and the hermit. And she was very excluded and had problems making friends and stuff, which makes sense. With the hermit card, she actually has the same exact cards as Donut. The hermit and the moon. That's Donut's two birth cards, which the hermit and the moon is the 18th and 9th card. 8 plus 1 is what? 9. The moon 9. She's a life path 9. Now, so far, I've seen this connection with people's birth cards and life path numbers almost with, I think, every connection so far. I'm interested to see if it happens with everybody's. So let's take a look at Paranoid American.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. I don't. So far, I've seen it does. It definitely does with mine. Mine's the 12th. I am the Hangman, which is the 12th card. I'm a life path 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. And I'm the Empress. That's why I'm a teacher. The Empress is the one that brings everything into reality. While I'm planting seeds everywhere, right? And that's both adds up to 3. So Paranoid American, what's your birthday?
5/22/83.
Oh, 22. You got that master builder number. You're born the same year as me, brother.
Yep.
5/22, 1983. Let's see what you are. And then I give a full breakdown. I tie it all in with gematria, of course, and send you over. So while we're on the live, I'm talking to you for 30 minutes. I'm gathering all your information. And then after the phone call ends, you give me about 20, 30 minutes, and I send over a full report breakdown of your whole reading. So he is the 21, which is the Empress, like me, and the World card. Let's see what the World is. I never seen this one together. So it's 3. So I wonder what your life path number is. Let me see. Let me start a new one. What's your birth date again?
5/22/83.
83. Okay, let me see here. 10.
Yep. What are you doing?
Look.
The lifeline number?
Your life path number. So you add all your numbers up. 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 3 is 30. You reduce it to the lowest. You're the same thing as me. Mine adds up to 32, which is 3. 3 plus 0 equals 3. You're a life path 3. Your two numbers add up to 3. So I keep finding it, dude. It's so bizarre. I never knew this, and I never even looked into tarot cards before until Logan taught me, which. Look, you're the 21 and the damn 3. Wait. Yours is, the World. The 21 and the Empress. Right?
This is all new to me, man. I'm like so out.
Yep.
I'm so
The
outside of the
Empress
tarot stuff.
and the World. So the World is number 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. And the Empress is 3. And you're a life path number 3. I don't care who you are. Your life path number will match up with your 2 tarot birth cards. It is bizarre, guys. And then you have your 52 deck of cards, right? So me and Donna, our cards are they're literally sister cards. The only 2 cards in the tarot deck that are sisters. I'm a 10 of diamonds, Donut's the Queen of Spades, and you will be, let me see. 10 of clubs. You're the 10 of clubs, bro.
And what card is this?
You're a healer and a teacher, and that's exactly what you are, a teacher. You might not be in tune with your healing yet, but you're probably very sensitive to energies. You have been gifted with powerful, aggressive mind, and you are extremely independent, and you are extremely independent. You build all your own brands. I mean, this definitely describes you. I don't think you tap into much of your meditation side, but you might just not be aware of it. You know what I'm saying?
Does lots of weed count? Does it count?
Yeah, that does actually. Yeah, I mean, you find it difficult to relax sometimes, and what do? You use your edibles and your herbs for that, so that does help. You're a natural born teacher and leader, and I mean, you're a good friend of mine, and I would say that describes you to a T. So yeah, this one's pretty cool. I put that up on my website so people can learn it. But that's my favorite card one I use. And then for the tarot cards, that's the one I use right there because they just work the best. And any tarot cards are all going to add up to the same. I've researched it all. I'm actually writing a book on it. But yeah, and most people out there doing readings, guys, they charge anywhere between 800 $250 to $800 a reading. I guess some people
That's
might
crazy.
yeah, they might do more detailed stuff than me, though. I don't know what they're doing and offering, but I just looked on the internet for readings, and that was like a big price. Some of them were like $1,100, bro. I seen it was crazy. Now, Logan dives super deep, so I think he charged a little more, but he's doing a very detailed breakdown. I like to think I do a pretty damn detailed breakdown. You ask anyone in the comments that have got a reading and got one of my reports at the end, and it's completely detailed. CJ, what did you think, honey? I only got to show you part of yours yet. We didn't get into your gematria yet, but what did you think about me breaking down your life path number, your card, and stuff like that? I guess I kind of just aired out who I read, didn't I? Sorry, CJ. She's really cool. But if you tell me you don't want me to mention your name or something, I won't. She's the one that told me to check out the creator, CJ.
Oh, and I want to point out too, we were talking about Project Stargate. I've got here, look at that. U.S. Army starts remote viewing project in 78. They called it Grill Flame. They renamed it Sunstreak in 85. And then they renamed it again Stargate in 91. And this is from my MK Ultra paranoid pamphlet. Breaks down the entire history of MK Ultra from Project Paperclip all the way to modern day. It's got Bluebird, it's got Castro, it's got JFK, and as you can see, it had that reference to Stargate in it. So yeah.
Wow, that's the MK Ultra one. Yeah, I like that one too. Zach, you're a life path one. Zach, what's your birthday, Zach? I wonder what your tarot cards are. I'm interested. I'm so fascinated with it now to find out how there's a connection. Like, I think we live in some type of simulation. It's the only thing that explains it. And like I said, if you think it's divination, I totally understand and I respect your opinion on that. And I would never knock anyone's beliefs or your opinion. You have the right to believe in that. And what I would tell you to do is pray on it and ask for discernment and let that lead you. Don't go by what I tell you. But True Seeker, what'd you say? Your birthday's 2/15 of 1991. So what would that be? Let me see here. You got to put the whole number, which would be 10, 19, 19, 20, and then 25, 26, 27, 28. I think it's 28. 28, which would be 10. You're a life path 10. Let me make sure I did that right, though, because I used my pull my calculator out, double check, and then we'll look at your card and see what the hell it is. Then we're
shout out to Truth Seeker too. What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up with you, bud? Plus 19. Oops, I did that wrong. Shit. Okay. 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 1. He is a 36, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're a 9, True Seeker. Let me look real quick, brother. Hold on, let me tell you what you are. What was his damn birth date again? 2/15. All right, 2/15 of 91. So February 15th. I'm desperately trying to find someone that doesn't have this connection, because maybe it's just a synchronicity thing that's happened to me so far, but I haven't found nothing yet. Well, this might be the first time. His birth card is the Sun, which is the 19th card. 9 plus 1 is 10, and he's a number 9. Wait, why is it giving me 3 cards? I've never seen that before. What the hell is that all about? The Wheel of Fortune? It gave me 3 cards for your birthday, dude. The 19th card, the Sun, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Magician. That's very bizarre. I've never.
Does it add up to a 3-digit number? No, it can't.
It's a 9. So what the hell is that all about? I've never seen that happen. And I don't see no thing down here that shows me a breakdown of 3 cards. So his has to be the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician then. Let me see. Wheel of Fortune. Let me show
Once we
this.
got the math down on how this tarot works, we'll add a tarot calculator to a
Yeah, I
complete
want to
tarot
share
deck.
my screen so you guys see what I'm seeing right now, because this is bizarre. I've never seen it do this. So I put his date and stuff in, and it gave me 3 of them. Your birth card is number 19. Then you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician too, which makes no sense. This ain't the date. This is just what here, I'll show you it live. Let me do it live. So his birthday is 2/15 of 1991. Okay, let's start it over. February, maybe I did something wrong. 15th of 1991. That'd be weird if he has 3 of them, because I've never seen that in my life, dude. Yeah, he has 3 of them. What the hell? So I don't know about this, True Seeker. Maybe you're special, dude. You're the only person I've ever seen with 3 damn birth cards. It's very bizarre. I've never seen it. I'll have to get back to you on this. I have no clue what the hell that means. It doesn't even show me a depiction for that. Now, the bottom 2, the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician, that would be the 10 and the 1, which is 1 and 1, but you're at 9, right? So all yours add up to 1. This one is 1, this one is 1, and the 19th card is 1. So you're the only person I've ever seen that your card does not add up to your life path number, and you're the only person I've ever seen that has 3 freaking cards. So there's something very strange going on with yours. It could be a very good thing, though. I don't know, brother. I'm going to look into it. Email
Can you
me.
just pick the best of the 3? Is
No,
that how that
man,
works?
I'm going to find out. I'll find out. I got to do a detailed report on it because I honestly don't know. So email me, True Seeker, truthfultv@proton.me, and I'll find out for you and give you a detailed report back. I have no clue what that's all about, dude, but I will get to the bottom of it for you. I've done thousands of these readings, and I've never seen that ever, bro. Ever. And I've used different, that's the best calculator. I've used multiple different calculators. They all give me, I use my birthday as a base, you know what I mean? And mine always comes out to, mine's January 17th, 1983. It always comes out to the Hangman and the Empress, no matter what calculator I use. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I'll look into that and see if I can find some answers out for you. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Very, very strange. So yeah, pretty cool. But we'll know by my next live. I will know why the 3 cards popped up. So yeah, what was Zach's? 318. Oh, Zach, yours is 1987. So I'm also doing a book on this. Dude, no matter whose birthday I do that's born in 1987, every single one of them has connections to HARP, which came out that year. Their name will have matching gematria or a certain amount of date from their birth date until HARP was patented. It'll be like, let's say, for example, 44 days and then HARP's 44. It doesn't matter who you do it. So I want to write a book on how all these connections happen with synchronicity and prove that we are in some type of a simulation. You know what I mean? And you might just be an outlier, brother True Seeker. You might, it's something I never seen before. So it's very fascinating why that is. I don't know. Is there another, are you looking at a calculator too, Paranoid American?
No. I was looking up some of the interpretations of the Thoth deck
Okay.
for the same cards, but no, I'm not looking at a calculator.
Yeah, because I got to figure that out. I got to figure out that date. Let me save that.
If we can get the formula together, man, we'll put one together that makes it easy. So if 3 comes up, it'll tell you here's why you're seeing 3 now instead of 2.
Yes, yeah. We need that because they don't even give you a breakdown on none of them. So I
don't know if
know.
everyone actually understands a lot of these these websites that have the calculators. If you know what the formula is, you can make a calculator. It doesn't mean you understand it.
No, I got a book on the formula, so I'll get that over to you. I know the whole formula. I can do it in my head, but I've never seen an interpretation with the number 3. But I haven't finished the whole book yet, so I'm going to look into that tonight to see if there's something connected to that date, why February 2nd of 5th. Let me try to find it real quick. To why does second? Oh wait, no, it was February 15 of 1991 have 3 should ask my AI what it says. Probably fucking lie to me though. Oh yeah, look, here it is. Okay, so however, 10 is also a 2-digit number. If added up, 0 plus 1, you get, that's why people who get 19 have 3 tarot birth cards. Okay, so it's only people, okay, now it makes sense. Wow. Okay. I didn't see, that's fascinating. So they're the only outlier. That's something I got to
19s.
Yep. So anyone that gets that 19 birth card, which is interesting because Ronin 19 happened 19 years after 9/11, after the 19 hijackers, chaos equals 19. You know what I'm saying? There was a little chaos connected to me and True Scrambler at one time, but we're good. We're buddies now. It's just, you see them energies tied to certain things, and it's just like these outliers that are in the timeline. It's crazy, man. That's very interesting though, to figure that out, bro. So yeah, you're the 19, True Seeker. So that's why you have the 3 of them, which I would look into that energy, that 19 energy, which mirrors 91. Yep, exactly. And that's the year you were born. It's very fascinating, to say the least. Very fascinating. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Something different. So I learned something new. I never knew that. That's why there's 3 of them. I never ran across that in all my decodes, which is bizarre. But I love y'all. Thank you for watching this. Make sure you go check out paranoidamerican.com. Check out his YouTube, his website, and all of his links are down below. True Seeker, he has a YouTube. Go check it out too. Like I said, we're cool. I don't hold grudges with no one. That's just not how I vibrate. So I love all you guys. Hit that like button, share the video. We're out. We'll see you next Saturday.